always in the mood for some StarCraft, are we? I know I am, so let's do a little bit right here, right now. In the bottom right side, talking about right, that's a blue Terran player. He fights for the Dragon Phoenix Gamers. He is a Cure. On the top left side, we got ourselves the red Protoss player fighting for the Afreeca Freaks. He is Stats. There's a lot of StarCraft happening lately. It is difficult, actually, kind of to put myself in a spot somewhere. You know, try to find a time frame where you can actually do some casting. It is rather difficult. Or at least, well, you know, something that hopefully people will come together by, and you're not overlapping with another event. You know, it's never nice to host or organize something while another event is happening. It just kind of puts you, you know, with a bad thing, right, I suppose. Then other people will try to organize events over your events, and it's not great. It's not great. So I know a lot of people here look out for that and try to sorry, that was a misclick right there. Try to avoid that stuff from happening. What's up, Neo? How you doing? Glad you could join me as well. And all the rest of us, of course. Canuck is here. Look at that. Canuck finding his way into my stream. Quite nice. So are you doing any investing overall, Neo? Because I just started, and I'm not quite invested quite yet, but man, it's exciting. Although, to be fair, it's uncharted territory now. Will there be another financial crisis because a bunch of Reddit users will not sell their stock? We'll have to wait and see. I don't think there will be, right? Well, maybe actually, but we don't know. We don't know how far it's going to go, how high the price. Anyway, not everybody is onto this, of course, as much, but it's still interesting. Still feel like there's some overlap just because, you know, StarCraft 2, a lot of smart people who like to do stuff like poker as well. I would imagine that the stock market probably under a large percentage of the StarCraft 2 people as well would be a thing. Anyway, regardless, so far we have the Reaper scouting out. Now it is a Stargate play. Might try to come in later on here and try to stay on top of that. Okay, starting off with the Marauder Concussive Shell. Don't see it all the time, but you know what? When you do, it is quite interesting. It could help out a little bit against those Adepts, of course, Stalkers, those early game units that sometimes Protoss do try to send across the map. It looks like it's trying to avoid the costliness of a bunker through this right here. And we'll just have Marauders as well, I suppose, right? It's actually going to start sending them across the map here. You always prefer to be able to get some damage, of course, with those initial investments. And it did slow down the rest of his build as well, of course. Against that Oracle, don't see that much up in the up on the base here of Cure that can actually deal with that. And to be fair, I've never really seen the Marauder opening do all too much. He knows it's a Stargate opener as well. I mean, he did scout it. Well, he's still going to try his best. I mean, you're not going to get away from that Oracle. You're not going to run away. May as well still try and face the Orchestra of the other Protoss units. I mean, he trades out a little bit there, right? Yeah, it's fair trading. And the Oracle here now, of course, did use his laser beam. Will not have that much available when he gets across the map. Did delay him a little bit as well. Well, wouldn't mind barely not anticipating the movement of that Oracle. But the Oracle, I mean, it's not going to do anything here, really, is it? Maybe 2 kills at most. That would be with a Cure, kind of botching up some of the micro there, perhaps, as well. But no, lovely done. Okay, Reaper could jump up here still to save his life. Actually, he might be okay without. Is he? Oh, that was close. That was real close. 6 HP there. Very calculated by Cure. He knows what he's doing. Widowmine drop here, followed with a lot of Marines. It looks like Bio Push will be coming along the way here for Cure sooner rather than later. Maybe they will be accompanied by the Widowmines, of course, that could happen as well. Maybe they will be two separate entities overall. With the Oracle Revelation on top of the Bio, maybe you do want to send them separately, right? You could always group them up at a later point in time as well. It's up to him. It's up to him. I like the separation, to be fair. But I do think that he, you know, with the double barracks opening, I'd prefer to see the Terran try and get a little bit more aggressive initially. Try and trade off against those gateway units from the start. Ooh, doesn't get those Widowmines. The other two over here, by the way. Still coming along. But yeah, of course we did see the Marauders get a little bit feisty there from the start. But that's about it. That's where it ended quite suddenly. And they only got 2 of the adepts as well, right? So, yeah. Not bloody fantastic. Okay, the other Widowmine vessel now coming across the southern part of the map. Might be that Kur's just waiting for that other medevac to arrive in a location as well. It's still smart to put this medevac already in the top right side. I'm trying to think of the reason why, but it makes sense, right? If Stats did move out and his army's over here, that means there's clear passageway for this medevac to just try and skyrocket his way into the mineral fields. But yeah, he knows Stats is still at home, so he's not going to try to do that until he has at least somewhat of a distraction here at the same time. Alright, looks like he is going to make his move. Not the most fantastic one so far. Gets a Stalker. That's pretty good. I think a probe as well did go down there. The other medevac quite heavily delayed, it looks like. Now finally does get one probe. Well, yeah, one probe. But yeah, not fantastic, of course. While the army of Cure still mostly at home here, it looked like. With all of that happening as well. So, not fantastic. Felt like Cure had 3 pieces on the boards where you could have tried to make something work, right? If the Stalkers are busy over here with the Widowmines, you might be able to, I don't know, kill all the Zealots and the Sentries when the Stalker's not looking. Or 2 Widowmine drops at the same time, of course, and then, you know, some stuff, just some stuff not quite synchronizing, and it's a shame when that happens, of course. But oh well, we're in this now. Cure not out of this either yet, that's for sure. Still can make some beautiful plays here happen. There's not that much scary stuff here for Stats, right? Not a single bit of AoE splash damage. And the army for Cure looks rather intimidating. Like you would prefer to have splash damage against it rather than none. That is definitely the case. And now with the overall movement here of his main army and his Widowmines, it looks like Stats is actually a little bit less comfortable trying to send units towards those Widowmines. But he's not uncomfortable to send Zealots into the main base of Cure. Finding quite a nice amount of the SCVs here. It does get cleaned up eventually, but that's still an admirable amount of damage here being dealt out. Stats still kind of chilling at his own place. See if he will get that 4th base going rather soon here. Wouldn't mind to see it. What happened to the Warp Prism? Did the Warp Prism go down? No, let's try to find it. Where are you, buddy? Oh, it's still there. Look at that. Couldn't even see it on the minimap. Alright. Oh, I guess you can a little bit there. Vikings do find it, and that is going to go down. No time to recall that. So yeah, like that from Cure. Don't see it all too often, you know, unless like one flying unit right there somewhere on the corner. Can't quite reach it with Marines. Sometimes you see the Terrans get a little bit lazy and keep up with the medevac production without the 1 or 2 Vikings that can just remedy that situation. And, I mean, he's also fighting against Colossi, so the Vikings already a good contribution to the army here. 2 armies ready to tango. On the right side, we got a majority Widowmine Marauder force. No. No. Whatchamacallit, observers here. So it looks like these Widowmines are having a blast together. There he is. There's the Widowmine cleaner. The spotter. What's up, lot? Chera Plana? Chera Plana? Hello. Fourth base is coming along nicely here for Cure. Did get set up already quite a bit here for stats. He's slowly holding the line there. It's a big drop. He also, yeah, I think he didn't want to invest the scan, so he made a missile turret here to see whether or not an observer was onto him. That's pretty cool. Okay, 2 medevacs. Well, 2 medevac locations here. Waiting probably for stats to move out, or stats to go somewhere, and then he can instantly rain down absolute death and destruction onto him. Alright, yeah, there he goes. There's the first batch. Second batch. I think he... Oh, wait a moment. He's busy trying to fight the main army. That's not something you want to do with just a third of your force. Maybe even less. Maybe a fourth, because there's still more at home as well. Right, full-on base trade. Kind of what Kyo was looking for, I feel like. Seeing how long he was waiting around. Gave stats all the time in the world to just kind of waltz over across the map here. Now he's starting to get real close to that main base and the production line. So is our Terran player, though. Just barely not getting shot by a disruptor along the way. Quite a few probes do go down here, of course. Usually you want to try to get your infantry in a position to snipe down any type of army that may or may not get recalled. We have a last stand situation here in the base of Cure as well. There's still some army bids trying to make a fight happen. The Vikings doing alright so far. The Stalkers struggling to get underneath. Vikings can try to make it out of here, of course. Look at that. 4 more Vikings actually joining in overall. That could be quite a valuable asset here for Cure if we do have a final head-to-head. Can fly the command center as well in the dead space. There's no flying units available here for stats that can actually deal with that, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, that is true. So overall, is there even a way there? Okay, there's a nexus being built. The nexus is being built over here. It's not very well hidden, but it is quite well protected. So a lot of status traps here helping out as well. Cure still has 8 workers somewhere. I'm not entirely sure where. Oh, there we go. They've got their own secret plan going on there. Oh boy, that would be horrible. Yeah, okay. Does manage to keep the orbital afloat. A lot of zealots and probes here. I mean, at this point in time, you may as well bring your probes as well together with the army. Right? They might go up in flames quickly, but, I mean, right now all you need to do is survive. Although actually we still have that. Imagine if that happens. He wins because he can mule and stats cannot. It's not the case. Still a lot of probes there. Still a lot of probes there. This is a nice observer place, actually. He's going to have a complete read of the army of Cure here. It's the entire composition, really. Wonder if the scans already managed to land on top of those status traps. Not entirely. 100%. Okay, he's going to use his energy so far for mules. Do we have a fight going on here? It could very well happen. Widowmine clearage already coming through. The Vikings need to try and keep that at bay, of course. And the Bio need to push the Stalkers out as the Stalkers try to push the Vikings out, and then the Colossi come back in, of course, to swipe at the Bio. That's kind of the thing that is going on there. Actually, might be able to start making some units overall. Units for stats, a bit more difficult still, it seems. Oh my. Oh, is he gonna try to do this? What a sneaky boy. What a sneaky boy. I would have sent maybe one medevac. The Stalkers, they have seen that the Emperor is without clothes. Is immediately on the retreat here. Is trying to get back to base. We'll be able to get here quite nicely. Still has money for another Nexus and has another Nexus building. So this is not a really detrimental pickup or anything of the sorts. A lot of the medevacs low HP there, especially this one a little bit frightening. Completely filled up with some boys there. Yeah, and Stats just continues onwards with his mining. That is rough. That is rough indeed. Medevacs still there. Trying to maybe feint a retreat from that area. I guess we still have some units being produced here as well for Cure. This is a weird one. This is quite the weird one. Alright, dropping in the main base again. We'll find a lone arc on that. Turns out to be not so lonely. 2 more Marines go down. There goes the mining for Cure as well now. Needs to repair the Vikings, I suppose. Oof. That's the GG. That is no coming back from this. GG is called. Stats takes game number 1. There we go, there we go. Game number 1 going into his favour. Game number 2 that is coming up will be played on Oxide. Oxide, a, well, relatively small map. It's not the smallest that we have around at the moment, but it's still relatively small. It's got some nice choke points, though, some new areas that you can abuse after taking out the rocks, and then the path really becomes short, of course. But anyway, enough about that. Let's just see the game, shall we? I think we shall. 5, turn that around. You got yourself a point, buddy. Stats doing quite a nice show here. In the bottom left side already said his name, Afreeca Freaks, the Blue Protoss. Top right side, that red Terran player for the Dragon Phoenix Gamers. He is Cure. Alright. Pretty standard things happening here for both players. Nothing out of the ordinary. I have to wonder, of course, what Cure will do. I hope he doesn't do the Marauder opening again. Never quite seen that work out all that fantastic for the Terran myself. We'll have to wait and see, though, of course. Successfully defended his buddy there. Always nice to see. Buddy justice. You gotta have a buddy to help you out in a pinch. As those SCVs there, of course, clearly giving us a perfect example of. Gotta have a buddy. Talking about buddies, we will have some Marines joining in pretty soon. Maybe versus the Reaper, of course, but I don't know, you did already make some Marines here. Fair enough. Where's that Reaper then? There he is. I know what I'm doing. Nicely timed shield battery there will avoid any Reaper damage. Well, at least Reaper kills on the probes there. In the natural, it is still open, but of course that's also where the adepts live, so doesn't quite want to go there either. Ooh, this could be a nice delay. Is that going to be delayed? Oh, that is painful. That is frustrating right there, full Cure. We'll have to find a way around to get that still operational, of course. Losing a lot of time here, and with that time energy that could be acquired on that orbital. Just a little bit. Yeah, he's going to come out here. He's attacking his own command center. That's how much frustration was pent up inside of that little cure man here. Trying his best to make right what was wrong in the world. Oh, that's just rough. That's just rough. Things are really going downhill here for Cure. He's trying to get himself a Viking out. That's a good start, I suppose, against the Stargate. Did he see the Stargate? He did get a good scout off. Happened the last time as well. I guess the Oracle didn't manage to do much, but he was already quite committed to the Marauder play at that point in time. That this time didn't happen, so you know what? I'm a happy camper because of that. 2 tech labs being added in will be acquired for these barracks, I suppose, pretty soon. Looks like maybe still want to get him. Well, I guess you don't want to have siege tanks against the Stargate, right? Could try to get yourself a Cyclone. Raven is going to get picked out by those Phoenix. You already noticed the Phoenix, so yeah, it makes sense to quickly try to get yourself that stim pack. Maybe the combat shields as well. Get that rolling in. Is that a reactor? No, it is still a tech lab on the factory, so might still want to incorporate some of the siege tank volleys here. Or he's already prepping for a 3rd barracks. Who knows? Who knows at this point? There we go. That's a reactor for the starport. Another Nexus is in the making for stats. Nicely, steadily expanding here on this side of the map. He's getting himself some Immortals to be added in with the Phoenix count. Then most logically will go into the Colossi tech afterwards. They do complement one another quite nicely. Yeah, the siege tanks are of course still good actually against those Colossi. It makes sense. I don't know why I said it differently. Well, the Phoenixes can lift them up, that's where the problem comes. But if you have got enough Marines to kind of stop that from happening, then you're all good. You're all good, right? That's what we're hoping for here for Cure. No 3rd base yet for him either. Now, it still could be a normal timing if he does get it, but it's starting to come at the point where he will need to do damage with his push if he doesn't start up something here soon. Otherwise, that's the Terran. Sometimes, you know, you don't have to do economic damage with your pushes. You can be okay just taking out big chunks of the Protoss army, because the Protoss army is quite valuable, right? A lot of units that cost a lot of money. If you manage to take out those key pieces, then sometimes that is enough on its own already, because that is some nice trading you're doing right there. Now starting to get some Marauders as well incorporated. Makes me think that he really is not looking for that 3rd base here. Is looking indeed for a bit of an assault. So far just sending out some Marines, trying to check if there is actually some scouting being done here by stats, of course. Very common to have some Phoenixes roaming around the front door in order to try and figure out when and what is coming your way. Maybe trying to avoid that from happening here. There we go. Is starting the move out. Stats already kind of recognizing that there might be something coming his way. Already repositioning with this army. Now, one of the things you want to do against Siege Tank's armies, or at least one of the things you can do, is kind of stagger it, right? You will be able to stagger it quite efficiently. Force it to siege up, back up a little bit. Force it to siege up, back up a little bit. And this is all, meanwhile, there's just happy mining going on here for stats. He's making more units, and he's getting a stronger backbone. And in fact, I don't think Cure's even wanting to move out anymore. Seems like he has given up on that idea entirely. He's just going to try to play this one defensively, get himself a 3rd base. Might still, well, I guess drop play is a very, very dangerous against the Phoenixes, of course. Ooh, nice spread out there with the siege tanks. A little bit of micro there. It's very important to allow those Marines forwards, otherwise you can just have a nasty situation with those Phoenixes coming in. Alright, there we go. That's the siege up. This is perfect for stats. This is just really, really good stuff for stats right now. Finding himself slowly but surely the engagement. I think he is fine with this being delayed. He's gonna go around with his Phoenixes as well, you know, try to find anything. There you have it again, another siege up, another delay in this overall attack. But Kjør cannot afford to lose these siege tanks without them being sieged up in the fight. Might still try a little bit here as he does want to force a fight, but Phoenix is in the back, picking up whatever is coming in as well. Lone missile turret here, not helping out too much, unfortunately. Ooh, good AoE splash damage there from the Colossi. Poking back in as soon as he realizes that. Kjør overextending a little bit there with his Marines and too clumped up as well. Might make it a lot more doable for the Phoenixes here to come in, pick up a ton of the siege tanks, and as soon as that happens, I feel like it's a free movement for stats. Kjør actually completely ignoring his... Is he still... I thought he gave up on the siege tanks. I thought he was gone. He was on a mission. Maybe he just completely misread the situation and where his opponent was, but that was absolutely horrible. That was one of the worst things that could have happened there. Interesting, interesting. Alright, well, GG is still called. Does mean we're going to go into a map 3 with stats. 2 points in the lead here for this entire series. Alright, let's try to see if that is going to be loading up. It will be. Romanticide. Let me take a quick look. Yeah, okay, we're good. We are good. Anyway, thank you for joining in. Hope you're having a good time with the StarCraft 2. Here we go. Game number 3. Oh, that is 5 points I just gave to stats. That is not what is supposed to happen, because that is not the point right now. Alright, so in the bottom right side we got ourselves our a bright red Protoss. There we go, saved myself. From the Afreeca Freaks, stats. And in the Redemptious blue, top left side, the Terran. For the Dragon Phoenix gamers, he is Kjør. Not doing so swell so far. Oh, there we go. Stats really having his number here, it seems. Really finding great ways to kind of stop anything from happening for Kjør. And, yeah, just shutting it down perfectly. Every step along the way. I like the fact that he's also incorporating a lot of the Void Race. Sorry, Stargate's play, but then not going into Void Race necessarily. Right. I know it's not what a lot of Protoss do, but it's still nice to see stats kind of opening up with that, getting maybe 1, maybe 2 units, immediately jumping out of it. Except for when he goes Phoenixes, of course, he does make a good amount of Phoenix. But that first game, what was it? Like 1 Oracle, and he was like, alright, yeah, that's about it. I'll just start doing other stuff now. This SCV did not bring his buddy. That is the main flaw right now. Needs to get his buddy here. There's his buddy. We'll be able to take over punching duties as he is doing the building duties. Oh, that is rough. Whenever that probe gets hit, of course, that shield is going to take longer to reset. And with that, stats will no longer be able to really get a good scout off there. Reboot would have been able to be produced. In this case, it's a Marine. Kind of the same thing, right? May have been able to survive just barely 1 more Marine shot otherwise with that shield, but yeah. Was not going to find anything anyway. Third base here for Kjør. Fairly early on. It's the first time we've seen that happen in this series, so could be a good sign for him, especially on Romanticide. Romanticide, a really good map for Terrans to just be, you know, very turtly. Just try and make it as difficult as possible for your opponent to do anything aggressive-wise. Slowly but surely take more and more of the map now. Problem with that, of course, could be that Stats just starts taking the map more quickly himself and then just runs Kjør out of money because he just has so much more. Like that, we're still getting a safety barrack or bunker here after quite a while. And he still gets himself a Reaper also. That's pretty cool. It's not going to get any adept. Stats 2 on top of things. Will not let his adept go down. Making a bit of the blink play. Not seeing the Stargate this time around. Cure so far. I guess with his Reaper kind of checking for proxies here. We'll get to the main base of the Protoss momentarily. He's doing a pretty okay job so far, kind of avoiding the Protoss kind of scouting force here. It's going to walk head first into that Stalker right now, and there's also an Adept, so this does not seem like the most optimal route to take. Is going to do it anyway, just for kicks, you know what, where he's probably going to rotate it back as soon as he sees the Stalker, yeah. It's fine. It's fine. It is blink. But he does have himself the double barracks opening here. Then he's going into the factory. We're just going to hope that he's going to build a siege tank next from that factory. It's just laps on another tech lab and just starts the production. Oh, the Reaper actually getting past here. It's going to get into the main base. Will be able to get an alright scout. Sees the Robo, so knows it's not Stargate. Gets hit right there. Okay, I think he should know now. He's making another bunker. Where's that bunker being made, you ask? Also at the front. Okay. Survey in a pretty good spot. No Raven, of course, because of the triple command center double barracks play. There we go. Pretty quick with the SCVs. Not a lot of them repairing, though, instantly. Oh, we're still making some headway there. Not quite. A lot of the Marines and Marauders not being able to get into that fight as well. Too busy with the SCV micro. SCVs here as well being pulled away. Oh yeah, that Stimpack very important to protect. You're doing a good job kind of zoning away his opponent from that area. Was still able to keep that going. Now this damage on the SCVs, it's not horrendous just quite yet. He's allowed to lose a couple more because he has that third command center. Stimpack is ready now. Where is that Stim? There we go. We'll be able to get a lot of those Stalkers this time around. No. Oh, that is wonderful. That is absolutely wonderful. Cure strikes back and we'll be able to force all those Stalkers quite a mile away. Resetting on the high ground here. Of course, there is still that Observer providing high ground vision. Looks like Cure trying to get him to chase. Medevacs are on the way. They are quite crucial now. If this army stims one more time... Okay, wow, that's a good connection right there. I thought... I think Stats may have thought the Stimpaks was going to run out a little bit sooner there. I'm not entirely sure what that turnaround was. Without Stimpak on, I'd say, yeah, that's a pretty good fight. He's going to stim again. That's going to put most of the units in the red. And then you're one-shotting those Marines. That is... really good. Okay, targeting some Marauders here is Stats. But he's losing most of his Stalkers right now. It's not looking all too sharp. The Marines are quicker than the Warp Prism here. As soon as they stim, of course, that is about to run out. We'll be able to stim again. Get this. Ooh, it's close. Okay, I'm gonna move back. Alright. So far, really digging the position that Cure's found himself in. Already moving to intercept these dogs on the high ground as well. And yeah, the Stalkers go away again. Yeah, during all of that, Stats has been able to get himself his own third base though, and it has been mining more quickly than Cure though. Cure has been able to really tie up that worker count here. You see, that's the main bit overall, I would say. That's main resources income, of course, for the Terran is going to be the mules, and if you're already equal on the workers overall as a Protoss, then it's just some really bad news for you. Should mean we have a bit of a blue spike here. It's actually not that bad. Surprisingly, maybe still some adjusting needing to be done here. Bit of overcrowded mining, I guess. Not a lot of mules being dropped either. Maybe still more so using the scan instead. Did get rid of that observer, so... Oh, Widowmine drop there, getting 10 kills. Very nice. Couple of Stalkers here on the left side, kind of creating a diversion for the Stalkers on the right. Still needs some catching up to do, of course, to the Widowmine drop. There we go, that is starting to really make it work. Getting a medevac there as well, actually, with quite a couple of units in there. Wow, these Stalkers in the main base, they are really doing a number on Cure's SCVs right now. They're going absolutely ham. Not bad. 12 workers killed off right there. Medevac still just kind of sitting still here for now. There are 3 Marauders here. Probably not want to try and unload your Stalkers one by one. Oh, that could be big. That's 2. Ooh, okay, yeah. Get out of there, Medevac. Get the heck out of there. Oh, lovely. Alright. So, with all of that done, I'm seeing a better work account for Cure, actually. No 4th bases yet for either of these players, so keep that in mind also. Whoever does manage to secure a 4th base here a little bit quicker, of course, does gain quite a bit of momentum. Oh, War Prism does get shot down by a Viking. A Lone Stalker survives. There's 2 more Widowmines right here getting... Oh, 10 more kills. Not bad at all. Medevac does not manage to get away. Probably not the biggest of the concerns right now for stats, but we'll have to start dealing with quite the army on the left here. After having lost quite a few probes. Might be too eager to try and reimburse the drone or the probe economy by croning out a ton of them. But needs to be wary. Does need to have his army quite up to sniff. Quite up to snuff, I suppose it's called. Because there is still quite a opposing Terran force here in the making. Starting to look like it will start pushing on 2 angles. These Zealots intercepting quite a nice area of this. So, yeah, it does do quite a bit of denting into that army composition there. Now Cure going for a plan B, as a matter of fact. The Zealots got warped back before they got eliminated. This is not a fight you want to try and take. Not with just the medevacs there. Moving in with the rest of the army on the top right side now. There we go. Full space. Okay, does not get started. Full space here for Cure is already about to finish up. Stalkers there as well, Cure. Not the play to make. Yes, that is entirely shutting down any type of drop play potential. After those Widowmines, he has had enough. Will no longer take that tomfoolery. Alright, full medefacts worth. Sorry, 3. 4 are on the bottom, of course. It's a lot of Stalkers. That is a lot of Stalkers, Cure. I'm not sure if you want to try and do this. At this point, actually, I would just be quite happy to just put everything together and start pushing the front with a big stim. Imagine if that happens right now. Oh, the Stalkers are moving. Stats hearing the plan I had, of course. Quickly deciding to do something else. Those medevacs are here still. Would be a good opportunity. Oh, the Starks are moving back. Alright. Really is on a wire with the broadcast, I suppose. Okay. Some Terran units were spotted on the western flank. Stats is starting to reposition. Not bringing those Stalkers away from any of these droppable locations, though. It's starting to take a 5th base, actually. Very, very passive. Stats is just not giving Cure anything to work with. He's just completely shutting him down. He's got zealots everywhere scouting around. He's got the stalkers to shoot down any type of medevac aggression. Look at that. He's already moving after them as they're not even really there yet, right? It's crazy. Stats doing a marvelous job with all of this. The one slightly undefended flank would be over here. But Stats knows the army is moving around in this area, so his army is just kind of giving chase right now. Oh my, what happened there? Crazy. Alright, well anyway. Pushing on forwards, there's Liberators joining the course now as well. Sniping away one of those zealots before actually anything else happens. Ooh, this could be good. Cure finding his way into the backside of Stats. Stats having a rough time keeping a handle on things. Yeah, a lot of Marauders. There's just a couple of Stalkers there, and I think we all know how that's going to end. Main army for Stats still rather impressive, but having difficulties actually cleaning this entire army of Cure up, especially with that planetary there. Also shooting in from the side. The Vikings not quite being able to finish off the final Colossus, but still, there's a lot of stuff going down here for Stats. Yeah, he just doesn't have enough anymore. GG is called. And Cure avoids the 3-0 for the time being. That means we're going to go into map number 4, which is going to be played on Pillars of Gold. So hang on to your hats. We're going on to the next map. Oops. Alright. Alright. Here we go. Best of 5. 1 point. And 2 points. And it's just 1 point away now, isn't it? That is true. That is true. It doesn't really feel like it, though. That previous game, a lot went into Cure's favor to make it go that way, I suppose. But he did have a pretty solid game, to be fair. That early game is in particular for those Stalkers. That was a very, very nice. Anyway, regardless, in the bottom left side, there he is. He's Cure, the Red Terran from Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Top right side, the blue Protoss fighting for Afreeca Freaks. Stats. Oh, I was still doing the introductions here, it seems. Thought I was being slow with it, but apparently they were even more. Oh my dear lord, they're still doing them. Wow. Oh, now I messed it up. Alright, there we go. I'm on the camera again. Alright, so what are they up to? What are these boys up to so far? We've seen quite a couple of things from Stats, of course. We've seen the Stargate opening into an Oracle and a Phoenix. We've seen him start off with the Blink Stalkers. Blink Stalkers not going really his way. I don't think that is his strength either, to be fair. Trying to be aggressive with the Blink Stalkers. I know he can do it, don't get me wrong. I know he can. He's pretty good with his control in StarCraft 2, but I don't know. I feel like the Stargate play just seems to suit him a little bit better. He gets all the information he needs from his opponents without having to do damage right then and there and to trade actively with those Stalkers. He just gets the information and then he kind of figures out afterwards, all right, how do I stop whatever you're doing? And then he does that with an absolute grace of a beautiful defensive player. Alright. First contact has been made, I suppose. Well, aggressive contact. Bullets have been shot. That's basically what we're saying. It's quite rare to see a Zealot this early on in the game coming across. It's doing quite a bit though, right? It's delaying the command center. It's making a lot of these SCVs kind of not do their mining duties. There's 3 Marines now, so they should be able to put a stop to all of this madness, but there we go. Kind of nice. Maybe stats responding to Cure, continuously kind of avoiding the Reaper until later on in the game. That's pretty cool to see. Now Stalker comes in as well, and this could start to get ugly quite quickly. Although, be it, the Stalker actually... No, okay, yeah, again. The early game micro here, not really shining through for stats. Not quite being able to get the most out of his units there. To be fair, that was on the high ground, so he was kind of forced to stay on the high ground there if he did want to see the thingamajigs. Thank you for the follow, Fran. Francisco from Brazil. Ah, nice. Muchos gracias. I'm casting this live, but these games, they are from replays, so... But I'm here live checking these games out. Basically, I didn't get a chance to see them earlier or before, so that's why I'm here now with this. You know, having a bit of fun casting it and chatting with some people, checking them out. Anyway, what else is happening? We got ourselves the siege tanks coming up. That would provide quite a bit of safety for the Blink Stalkers, which is in fact again what we're seeing out of stats here. Maybe still feels a bit of pride that needs to be corrected. Show that world that he will be able to pull off the Blink Micro. We'll have to wait and see. Raven coming in. Raven and the siege tanks. I mean, both of those can be pretty good to shut down the Stalker presence, of course. The Raven pretty solid with finding those observers. As soon as they are gone, it becomes a lot more difficult for the Starks to really gain access into the main base. I guess you still have the War Prism, but the War Prism can get interfered with as well. Thanks, D-Face. Alright, 2 more barracks also being thrown in, so Cure not going for a crazy 3 command center. Pretty standard stuff. He should be able to hold this overall, unless if he really fumbles his unit control. He doesn't have that much, to be fair. He only made 1 single siege tank as well, which has me a little bit worried. That bunker, yeah, that is not going to stand for very long. He still does not have a second siege tank on the way. Am I crazy? Does he already have 2 siege tanks? He does have 2 siege tanks. Okay, good. Right, that's one of the main things you need to have. It's pretty nice that they somewhat cover each other as well. You want to consider moving the other one closer also, if he does move his siege tank further up. Oh boy, oh boy. There it comes, of course, the dreaded... Alright, well, never mind, I'll just attack this area strategy. We're getting some Marauders mixed in as well, but the supply depot block is actually quite ridiculous right now. So yeah, it's taking a long time for Cure to get any type of reinforcements in here. Siege tanks holding off all right. There we go, there's those emergency supply depots that did come in. Cure holding off the Stalkers now though. We'll be able to take out quite most of them. And let's take a look at the resources lost tab. I mean, it's not all in favor for stats there, but it's not horrendous. He's getting himself a 3rd base with this, so that is another thing that is going better for him this time than it was in Romanticide. Right? Coming in again with these 4 Stalkers here. I like that he's still targeting down the Marines and the Marauders instead of the SCVs. He knows that you're meant to do a timing attack with this build. You're supposed to get aggressive. So the less of those units are available in that push, you know, the better it will be for stats overall. And the Protoss units do have this kind of advantage, you know, they are bulky and beefy. If you manage to just lose the shields and then try to get out of there, trade a couple of units, you can regenerate the shields, come in at a later point in time again. It can be quite nice overall. Just a lot of value that you can gain. The 2 Medevacs out for blood. It seems the 3rd base seems rather exposed also. But perhaps he's more prone to be trying to find the Wild Prism here. See if there's a chance of that happening. A lot of Stalkers already rotating around back towards this base. But that is still a lot of bio. But with the shield battery, I don't think the bio can, in fact, take the fight. Ooh, that is a big shot down. Kyo really trying to avoid losing all of his units there, but did still happen. 8 probes being taken out, that does put them on an equal amount, which is quite nice. But again, we have to remember, stats this time around, the player that has the base a bit quicker, so we'll be able to push that worker advantage quite quickly back into his favor here. Especially with the triple chrono. Kyo, is he aiming to move out at this particular time? It's looking more and more likely, but now actually sieging up the siege tanks, so maybe not the case just quite yet. Stats, the person here taking charge and moving on forwards, checking out if he will be able to snipe away at maybe some overall bio units here. Let's take a gander. Doing alright, kind of checking out the area here. The observer having good vision of the front of the line. And he's starting to put himself in a good position here. This is kind of like crossing the T in naval battle, right? You never want to have a fight because all the guns in naval battle on the side of the... Anyway, we're having a fight. We'll come back to that later on. So a lot of zealots here kind of squashing in right on top of those bio units. The tanks dealing a lot of splash damage as well onto the marines in question. The Colossi now finally returning as well without the interference matrix on top of them. It looks like Kyo may just get killed here. It just may happen, and that is exactly what does happen. Very nice play there